It's interesting. And welcome to another episode of Fill My Hole. Today, I'm still Phil Balabanos. And today on the program, that's right, Fill My Hole, we have Michelle McHugh. That's
Yeah.
McHugh with an H, right?
Yes.
McHugh with an H.
McHugh with an H.
Michelle, better known by her alternate ego, Dorcas sidekick, is maybe one of the most prolific Montreal-based models I've ever worked with, because she's been in it all. Sandwich commercial? Probably not. Commercial in a sandwich shop? You might see her on the wall. So Michelle, who are you?
Who am I? Well, human being one.
Well,
yeah.
well done.
Thank you. Just to get things started off. But I'm successful. I'm still alive, so that's great.
I thought you meant a successful model, but yes, she is a successful human
Successful model. Yes. Okay. Just edit that part out because it was awful.
No, this is all live to tape. We don't cut anything.
Oh, got it. Okay. Great.
Unless I say something inappropriate.
Damn it.
I don't want to.
That was inappropriate.
Like I might cut that out when I drop stuff.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but for people who don't know and who have never come across you,
yes.
Who are
you? I am Michelle McHugh, a fashion model, commercial model, catwalk model for a time. Did commercials, a couple of music videos. My face has been around.
I see your face everywhere. I walk downtown, yeah. I go have a sandwich, and I look up and you're just staring at me from across the room. It's strange. It's
making the worst. Sure you're staying straight.
The weird part is I've probably seen those posters of you for years.
Yeah.
Before I ever met you. And I only noticed them after I met you, obviously. It's like when you get a blue car and all the cars are blue and you're like, oh my God. But how did you get, how does one get, for all of the teenage girls who are watching this, or even teenage boys, which I probably don't have any of that demographic, either one. I don't know, I'm not sure. Who want to be models and live in Canada, right? Who aren't living the LA life. How do you get into modeling life? How do you accidentally become a model?
Well, it's a little bit different now. Like it's with the whole social media aspect is kind of like you put up a bunch of pictures, get scouted by a fashion company, and then boom, you're a model. For me, starting off, it was a little bit more difficult. Like we actually had a competition called Model Search America, which was obviously American-based modeling search competition. They came and they scouted for models, and the end conference was you were in face of at least, I think it was like 6 or 7 major modeling agencies. So there was Ford, there was Elite, there was Wilhelmina, and you would do a catwalk show and with your number, basically like a cattle call. Pageant.
Oh, cattle.
Okay.
No,
I was gonna.
No, cattle call is much better. Let's stay.
Cattle call is better. It felt like it. I mean, I didn't do the catwalk part, but seeing the girls do it, it was pretty cattle-ish.
we got a fine piece of prime rib right here.
Yes. Well, I mean, the girls and boys were gorgeous, so I'll give them that. But yeah, the competition was interesting. I got selected to be part of the competition of the runway, but I didn't end up going to that section. My parents just didn't agree with doing it that way. I was 15 at the time. So fast forward to about 17, 18, I have a very prominent position at McDonald's, which was still by far, like modeling career has been great, but it's one of the best jobs I've ever had. Honestly,
I'm not sure what to make about that.
Oh,
you want to deep dive into that a little bit?
Oh, it was so much fun. The teamwork, any 17-year-old would go through. I mean, you get 50% off of the food like every day. And if you get employee of the month for the entire month, you get free food. And that's McDonald's, like ice cream. And I know now as like I'm doing health nutrition, that's basically not the best thing to be doing, but I went through that transition and now I'm here. So.
You're really like what's the word I'm looking for? You're really kind of dismantling the myth of the skinny model smoking a cigarette for lunch.
Oh yeah, no, there's none of
I've been on set with you. I've seen you eat. Like
it's a lot of sandwiches.
It's a lot of sandwiches. Yeah, it's a lot of sandwiches.
I stopped doing the bread though.
Yeah, did you stop doing the bread?
I stopped doing the bread part.
Just open it up and eat from inside?
Yes,
All
and then
right.
I
So
have like a salad. It's nice.
so after abandoning your dream career at
Yes.
McDonald's,
Oh,
you what? You get representation? Like what happens after?
well,
Like I honestly, even though I've worked with a lot of models, I don't actually know. Like I know the route of an actor a bit better
mhm,
because I deal with them more often. And not all actors are models, and not all models are actors. Like
mhm.
that's this. Someone should put that on a T-shirt.
Oh, I'll write it.
Um, all right.
I'll do
Thanks.
it. I
Thank
have
you
a
for that.
guy. I have a guy that can make them. It's
You seem like the
good.
type of person who has a guy for things.
What
Yeah,
t-shirt time?
a
And
T-shirt guy.
that's not an ad, but t-shirt
Oh,
time.
T-shirt time. Okay, this is not sponsored, but
Not
okay, sure.
sponsored by t-shirt time.
Um, so so yeah, I know the route of the actor
Yeah.
a little better. What does the model do? Like, I'm having really terrible ideas, and like, I
Oh.
have a pretty bad idea of how models get successful. Like, I'm not gonna lie, and I think most people have that misconception too.
I mean, you can go that route. It's a little bit more messy.
Really
Yeah.
messy.
You don't
The
even know.
the program is called "Fill My Hole." You're fine. Don't worry.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Messy.
Messy.
Messy. But no, I mean, I think I went the transitional route. Like I kind of had the interest in it. Like I did that competition and then
Hmm.
I kind of put it in the back burner, but always had it in my mind. And just by fluke, my friend growing up, her aunt was the owner of the agency that I'm with now, Montage. And she was like, she was really just nonchalant about it. She was like, listen, we'll take a bunch of pictures. If you feel comfortable in front of the camera, we'll take it from there. I actually did the Dawson College photography student program. Like they do like a
Oh,
end of
you
the
were their
year.
model.
I was their model. Yeah,
Right,
I was
right.
horrible. Like there's horrible, and then there was me. Like it was
Well, everyone
like,
starts off horrible, right? Like at everything.
deer in headlights. Like
I'll send you my first student film.
oh yes. Oh my
God, it
god.
should
I
never see the
burned
light
all
of
my
day.
old
Uh, Burned is a big statement, but
burned.
I actually lost my first student film. Like it's gone.
Oh,
It was on a YouTube channel. It was the only copy I had because my computer had
oh,
crashed, and
yeah.
that account got hacked. And
Eesh.
well, my friend's
Sorry.
bare ass was in it, so it's really a tragedy to have lost it for future generations. It was called The Chronicles of the Greek Lover. It was terrible.
A tragedy and a romance.
It was, yeah, it
Beautiful.
was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was.
Oh,
I'm kind of glad it's gone. Let's just say that much.
fair
But
enough.
I'd love to watch it again.
Well, I'm sure your friend is too.
He's very happy that it's
Yeah,
gone. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
that's
Good
fair.
times. Good times, Peter. Um,
Poor Peter.
so okay, so here's my one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you. It came up with the conversation with Ali on the last not the last episode, the one before.
Hmm.
Um, we were on set together the day before we got locked down for COVID,
Yeah,
right? And I was very sick. Like I've said this before
yes.
to people, I was
We
super
were
sick,
all very
and
concerned.
everyone was very concerned, not about my well-being, but about their own, and understandably.
Mhm.
Um, I'll tell you what I told everyone. I got tested. I didn't have COVID.
Okay, good.
So
No,
you're cool.
I
It
watched
it,
it.
it
Yeah.
wasn't me.
Okay.
Um,
Well, we're all fine. I don't know if anybody else got it from
I
that
have no
shoot,
idea. I haven't spoken to everyone from that
but
shoot,
okay.
but they didn't get it for me if they did get it, right? Um, what is the like for me, shoots stopped, right? But shooting is only a small part, not a small part, a part of my work. For
Mm-hmm.
you, shooting is your work. There's
Yeah.
no office hours for models. So, like, what happened in the last 90 days? Like, what have you been doing?
Well, a lot of home shoots, first of all. I mean,
What do you mean?
I was doing home shoots before. So basically home shoots is, I always tell models to do this on a
Okay.
regular basis, like even when before COVID and stuff like that. Just take pictures of yourself, how you look currently. Just for, I mean, everyone's on social media now, just to see what your body looks like, what your face looks like, how you compose, give 3 or 4 different angles and post it. Just you and your body, and that's it. Well, obviously clothing or
Yes, sure, yeah.
whatever, yeah,
It's
optional,
it's
but
not an OnlyFans.
but and your
Yeah.
personality, have it shine through. But since COVID like hit hard, that whole avenue just kind of opened up a lot, and a lot of companies were looking at paying models for their home shoots.
Hmm.
So I had a couple of castings for that same thing.
How do you do it? You setting up a tripod and a camera,
Oh
using
yeah,
your phone? What are you doing?
I've had a tripod for the longest time. You have a selfie timer. Those are always great. And I purchased one of those little remotes. Those are quite tricky because you kind of have to take the picture, but then you can't have the remote in the picture. So then your Photoshop game has to be like on. Just
Oh,
like
so you're going on
remove.
and masking out the remote.
Oh, I'm hairstylist, makeup artist, creative director, photographer.
The unions must love you.
You love me.
Actually,
I'm doing it
just
all.
just the way you describe these home shoots,
Mhm.
the unions are like all of our jobs, not models so much, but like
Yeah.
all of us on the other side of the camera, from the
Mhm.
casting director to the union to the union rep to me even, our jobs might be in danger. Like when you really think about it, if home shoots, maybe not for video like the complex stuff that
Mhm.
we've worked on together, because that
Yes. Oh,
requires
that's
a lot
ridiculous.
of hands.
Mhm.
Um, but for this kind of stuff, yeah. And you're shooting on an iPhone?
iPhone.
She's fucking shooting on an iPhone, guys.
iPhone, like there's portrait mode, which is lovely.
It is
You put
lovely, isn't
that,
it?
it is.
It
You
is.
put
It
that
is.
on, you throw a couple of filters on it, and it's a
Wham
decent
bam, I'm a
Instagram
model.
post.
Right.
A
Wow.
little like
I think I
smear.
just got a little sad.
No,
I
no,
think I
but
may have got a little
honestly,
sad.
doing all the work and the editing and stuff, it makes you completely grateful for the teams that you work with on a daily basis.
Right.
I mean, especially the assistants. Like, honestly, them like holding those I have a reflector and trying to balance this on something while taking the picture, and
I'll give you a small piece of advice. There's
mhm.
actually stands for reflectors. They're only like $20.
Okay, well that's
Specifically for
another.
reflectors. I'm lucky because Ali, when he moved out, left a bunch of stuff here, and now I have reflector stands
What?
because I don't work with a lot of photography. It's mostly
Yeah.
video, so I never had stuff like that. I never needed it. But yeah, reflect. Sometimes when I do the show at night, I just put a
Yeah.
reflector here by the window just so I can catch this light. And two episodes ago, it fell, and it's the middle of the night. It's pitch black outside, and it's a window in an alley. Shit my pants. Shit my
Yeah.
pants.
But that's
Done.
just it though. Light is I don't like
Light is the
light
game.
experts are I bow down to you because it is so hard to like at least for me trying to figure it out on my own, and I've been trying to watch these YouTube videos trying to get the right kind of balance and this and that and trying to hit the light and use the silver side and use the gold side and the white side and
And
I
it
just
also
the
it also
sunlight
really
helps great.
depends. The sunlight is great, yeah. Sunlight is the
Sunlight is
best light,
great.
the ultimate gaffer, the sun.
Yes.
But the thing about lighting, it doesn't really. It's not one answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like different skin tones will wildly and drastically change what you're doing just because of
Mm-hmm.
about the amount of like absorption you're getting from the melanin in someone's skin. Like a
Yeah.
darker complexion will absorb more light, right? Like I've
Mm-hmm.
been on like student shoots where they
Yeah.
brought in like the first actor to light for a scene
Yeah.
and the second actor, and there were like wildly different complexions, but we didn't know. We were students. So like
Mm-hmm.
the second actor comes on and we look at the screen and it's like one actor and there might be someone standing in the shadow. We're not sure. We're like, we might need to redo this. Like, always
Okay.
start with the darker skin tone when you're lighting. Like, if you
Okay.
need to do
Mm-hmm.
like a on a cheap shoot where you don't have
Mm-hmm.
time to light, not time, but money to individually light actors. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
start with the darker complexion. And the other guy, you hope for the best. Like, seriously, you hope for the
Like,
best.
hopefully he's not super pale.
Because if you underexpose someone, mind you,
Yeah.
what I just said is so wrong also,
Yeah.
because you shouldn't overexpose an actor, but you gotta
Mhm.
kind of find like a nice even balance. And like,
You can't fix that in production, like in the
look,
editing
you can
room, or
fix a
you
lot of
can.
things.
Yeah.
Those are famous last words. Like we'll get it in post, right?
Yeah.
But if something is really overexposed, you need to know that there's digital information in that image, right? If
Mm-hmm.
there's no info in the blacks, if there's no info in the whites, like on the edges of the histogram,
Yeah.
you're not pulling anything out of there, especially not on an iPhone. That's where the technology, that's where the gap is, right?
Yeah.
I can do stuff and screw up on a major camera
Mm.
and maybe pull it a bit back. On an iPhone, you miss, you're going again. There's
Yeah.
no real, yeah. But to get back to the point, because I don't know how I tangented so hard.
Yeah, it's No,
That
but
should
I
be the
wanted to
tagline.
ask you if there's a camera I should be purchasing instead of an iPhone, like to do these shoots with,
Look,
because
I'm gonna right now while we're doing this, I'm gonna pull up your
Mhm.
Instagram feed and I'm gonna judge.
Judge.
I'm gonna judge your shoots. Let's see
Okay,
what you've been
dude.
up to.
Oh, this is fun. Yeah.
That's what we're doing, guys. If you guys want to do this, play along. It's Dorkiest Sidekick on Instagram.
Dorcas
Is it a
sidekick.
public account or they have to
Yeah, it's
request?
public. No.
It's public.
Anybody can go.
I'm gonna start with this. Uh, it's either really cute or terrifying photo of you posing next to some drawings on the wall. Uh, yeah, this one right here. Yeah. Did you draw these yourself?
Yes.
All right. I like the pencil work.
Thank
Uh,
you. I
so-
this is my first review of my Bernie side. I'm so honored.
Oh, you even had a guest, like a pro golfer.
I
Cool.
did.
Yeah. So
21.
these are terrible photographs from a technical standpoint, right?
Fair enough. Yes.
Right. But at the same time, for Instagram, they're great because
know,
somehow
yeah.
about 10 years ago, our generation
Mhm.
ruined photography. And they said,
Oh.
hey, we should take photos really close to the wall, which goes against everything that most people do because you
Yeah.
want depth in a photo, and we should use hard flashes. And then this being close to the wall style became popular. It's just people who don't know how to use cameras. That's
Yeah.
my opinion.
Wasn't that famous photographer, the one with the big glasses?
Oh, what's his face?
Richardson?
Yeah,
something?
is it Richardson? Is he like the
It's
sexual
Richard
harassment
something.
guy,
Yeah,
right?
that guy,
Yeah,
yeah.
him. Yeah, I know who you're talking. What is his
But
name? Is it
he's the one
Richardson?
that did that like big light into a wall.
It's one thing to do it once on a shoot when you're a known and like awarded
Mhm.
photographer, and it's different for everyone to just do it because they think that's what's cool.
Yeah.
And realize that they're not lighting anything. They're just like American Apparel did it a lot.
Yes.
Just like very
Yes.
sweaty, very shiny,
Mhm.
hard light. Like I had clients asking to replicate it. I'm like, I can't in good conscience do this. I just can't, especially
Yeah.
on video. It's weird on video.
Oh,
All
but
right.
it's very much that music video with
Which-
I can't remember it.
I don't
It's,
watch a lot of music videos anymore. Like I'm just like domesticated now.
it's a famous one. But anyways, continue. Sorry.
I'm gonna make another comment on your Instagram feed.
Go.
It seems like in quarantine, you went from just, regular I'm at work photos to I'm out and about photos and a bit of like, modeling at home
Mhm.
to a lot of very, what is the word I'm looking for here? A lot of lingerie, Michelle. What's going on at home during quarantine? All of a sudden,
A
you go
lot of
from this-
lingerie.
you're like a successful model and then you degenerate into thirst trap. What's happening? Just
Wait,
kidding.
which one are you talking about? Degenerate. Rude.
I
Just rude.
like what like this is artistic,
That was so nice.
but I
Okay,
don't expect
that was
it
when the
from you.
light was like
You
I had
got to
no
get that good light.
on. I got up. I was like going to the gym, going to my basement. And literally, I was like, "This is awesome."
No, this is
light
great
is-
light. We
Okay.
spend hours trying to replicate something like this. This is like, yeah. Great
Yeah.
light. And I'm just kidding about the degeneration of your photography. Just
And
wanted to
it's
see
not
how you
even
react.
lingerie. There's worser ones than that. That's like a sports bra.
That is a sports bra, but I stopped on that because I liked the light. It was pretty light. But honestly, I'm scared to go too deep because I'm just hurting myself.
Did you see the panda one?
The
When
panda one.
When the panda touches my hand, and we have a moment. That's a great video.
So let's talk about this. You have one of the
An obsession with
unhealthiest-
pandas.
one of the unhealthiest obsession with pandas. The only thing I've ever seen to contextualize that's as extreme as how much Kristen Bell loves sloths. Have you ever seen this?
Kristen Bell?
Kristen Bell, Veronica Mars?
Yes.
So
Wait.
she's obsessed with, yeah, you know who she is. The
Wait.
voice from Frozen. She's Anna in Frozen.
She did another show, right?
She did a lot of
Recently?
shows. Yeah.
No, but like on recently.
Oh, yeah, she's with Ted Danza.
Yes.
What is it called? Not Afterlife. It's called The Good Place.
Good place. Good place. Yes, I enjoy
Right.
her. Okay. Yeah.
So she loves sloths to the point that I've seen this on the internet. Her
Mhm.
husband brought her a sloth and she couldn't compose herself to go and see it. She was crying hysterically. She was so excited. Okay.
They're
This
like
is
the
kind of
slowest
how,
animals ever.
I don't know. Hey, no one's judging your panda. We're just asking for some context. Why
I'm
are you
just
obsessed
saying.
with panda
Did
bears?
you watch them in Zootopia? They're the worst. Come on. They're like at the DMV being like, hi. That's it.
I think that was the
Sloths are
gag.
the worst.
I don't know if sloths are the worst. I
Worst.
haven't hung out with a lot of sloths. But we're not talking about sloths here. We're talking about panda bears. Why?
I mean, okay.
Like you're
Black.
glowing right now.
I love pandas.
It's
I
such a
mean,
strange obsession.
I don't think it's a straight. I mean, I was obsessed with them ish before I met a panda in China. Like it was like a very normal obsession with them. Like I enjoy
Sure.
black and white and as an aesthetic.
Oh,
for
okay. All
everything.
right. That's fair.
I mean, they're beautiful shades. I can't call them a color because they're shades.
They're oh boy. They're adorable, yes.
They are okay, but their whole philosophy. Think about it. They're okay. They are a bear. I know they have a philosophy. I've made it up for them.
Okay.
They're a bear.
Oh, okay.
Gentle. They just sit and eat. Maybe climb a tree, but sit and eat. Maybe roll around, play with some other pandas. Sit and eat. Love it. Just everything I would want to do in my life. Awesome.
Didn't you just describe like 10 different animals?
Like who?
Maybe
Give
climb
me
a
like three
tree.
others.
Ha-
Who?
I didn't name one. I said maybe climb a tree, eat some stuff, maybe climb a tree, sit. Sounds like, I don't know, a
But-
squirrel.
And be consistently adorable.
Well, I can't argue that point because that's subjective. So they are cute. I'm not gonna lie. My wife used to be obsessed with not pandas, with penguins.
Very
Because they
cute.
look so fancy until I ruined it for her and explained to her that they rape other penguins, like as a form of
I didn't know
social
that.
punishment. It's not all penguins. I think it's emperor penguins. They're just like, yeah, I don't think so. Whoop.
So the
They're very
macaroni ones
aggressive.
are decent?
The macaroni ones?
The Have you never watched Happy Feet? You have
I have.
children.
I've watched Happy
Okay.
Feet. I
Okay.
get really upset when I watch Happy Feet because I miss Robin Williams. It's like I can't. Yeah, I know.
Okay, are we gonna get into that? Because I might cry.
Like I said, not all models are actors, and not all actors are models.
No.
Like this is raw emotion today on Film My Hole. I miss Robin Williams. I'm not
I
gonna.
miss him.
I'm not even gonna pretend.
too. I named my car after him. It's Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, it's a car. Does the car not run well?
No, she's British and she's funny. Actually,
okay.
Scottish and she's funny. Sorry, my bad.
Alright,
Because Mrs. Doubtfire
this-
actually is Scottish.
Yes. Well, actually, she's a guy from the States, but yes, the character of Mrs.
But as a
Doubtfire that he
fictional
creates. Yes,
character,
that she creates.
Scottish.
Yeah. But let's go back to let's leave this tangent.
I know
I
we've
feel like-
sidetracked like a lot.
feel
This
like
is very
people-
much what we do anyway.
Well, this is kind of this is the relationship. I'm in charge of the set. Michelle is the talent.
I walk a bunch
We
of times.
effectively talk a bunch of shit off to the right of the camera, and then I
Kevin!
pretend to get oh god, and then I pretend to
I
give her
want
some kind of like insightful directorial note. I'm like, hey, can you just like emote?
Yes.
Just do your thing. Like Michelle makes me look like I do my job really fucking well, like really well. And when the other models don't know what the hell I'm talking about, the crazy thing is, it doesn't look like I'm fucking up because she's hitting her marks. It looks like they don't know what they're doing.
Well,
You know,
it's their first time too. We've been
not all of them.
Oh,
I
like
think
they get it after a while. It's
yeah,
not.
well, some have a weird initial reaction to me. I think because I'm kind of wacky on set. Like I don't look you in the eye. I just wander about, and I'm doing like
You
a million
forget to
things.
say action. One.
I don't like to say action.
That
I'd
would
rather just
need to
let
be
you
a
go when you're ready to
conversation.
go. It's not a scene with dialogue. I don't need to time the pacing that tightly. You're like, I've directed very complex things. You walking out towards a camera, not the most complex timing. You know what I mean?
know, but they're seeing you and not seeing you, so we need to know when to go. That's my only thing.
Fair enough. And then some models really don't like that. They'll like on the last shoot we did together, she just decided she was gonna call action. And
No,
even
that
though
was
I
lovely. I love that.
I don't like to call action, but hey, that's my word to call. That's like literally that's why they pay me the medium-sized dollars.
The medium
You know what I mean? Just so I could action.
Oh, Kevin.
But stop calling. Why do you keep calling me
I
Kevin?
wanted to start this by saying Kevin.
Yeah, what is that? I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but I think it
Oh,
was
okay.
with Renee. He
Renee is
used,
our cinematographer, by the way.
yes,
Yeah,
lovely, lovely.
lovely
He
Acadian.
Acadian?
He's Acadian.
Wait, oh,
He's from Nova
if
Scotia. Never
I don't
mind.
know what Acadian means. Go.
Like Cajun?
Like Cajun?
Cajun? Like
Cajun, like
you know,
spicy.
you know. All right, guys, we're gonna take a sidetrack here. Okay, sidebar, Michelle. The
No, give me.
The
Mhm.
Acadians came from France, right?
Okay.
And they continued to exist as a distinct community from French Canadians. They come from
Ah,
Acadie. I think they come from Acadie. So some of them went
okay.
down to the Americas
Yes.
and got stuck there after the Louisiana Purchase, and they
Okay.
became from Acadians, Acadiens, Cajun, Cajuns. That's why they
Got it.
speak with a French kind of call in the South, in Louisiana.
Like a
We
twang.
also have a bunch in the Maritimes, small
Okay.
communities. They have a flag. Yeah,
True.
it looks like the flag of France with a little star on it. And they are not Quebecois. They are
Okay.
separate from the French Canadians of Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are honorable French people. These ones, they're different. I
No.
don't know. I have no idea. But
Um,
yeah,
see,
so
this I did not know.
Renee,
Gracias.
correct me if I'm wrong. You're welcome to come on the show and talk about the
Still
Acadian history.
lovely, but he was around for the formation of Kevin.
All I remember of this is that I was standing outside, exhausted, trying to get home the day before coronavirus, sick as a dog, and someone yells Kevin really loud. So I turned around and you're like, gotcha. And you giggled all the way off.
No, there was no gotcha. It
Your
was
eyes
just
said gotcha.
fine.
Fine. You're
I
like, ah, gotcha.
can't control what my eyes say.
You're a model. That's your whole job.
Is it?
Isn't it?
I don't know. We kind of have to use everything, right? Like,
Yeah, no,
what does
I'll
my
say
elbow
this. I'll
say?
say this. You do some really interesting, you have incredible control of of the muscles in your face. Like, okay, bad example, but like
Sorry.
I ask you to do something, right?
Mhm.
Because someone on set has given me some kind of vague note from marketing that I can't fully contextualize. So I'm like, I'm gonna pretend like I understand what this means,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna give Michelle instructions. And I can see in your eyes that you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? And then you come out and you do exactly what I asked you to do, what I thought I was asking you to do,
Yeah.
even though it wasn't what I actually asked you to do. You do it, and then I'm like, that was perfect. And then I try to do that with my face. My face doesn't do that.
No.
It's impressive. It's a skill. Like people who think models are just standing there and being pretty, that is a huge misconception. It's something that
A lot
actually
of work.
irritates me. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fucking work.
It is a lot of work, especially now with this e-com game, like being in
Ecom is
full force.
nuts.
It is nuts. Like we were introduced to it when you know the company Beyond the Rack.
Yeah, I remember. Didn't
I
they go
don't.
bankrupt?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were. I mean, it was like nonstop close. Like you're shooting like maybe 200 SKUs in from maybe 8:30 to 5 o'clock. And it's a lot. Like sometimes I would just be doing hats and I just throw it at the photographer. He throws me one
It's
hat, throw it
crazy
like
how much, because you know it's weird. The amount of work on your part, on my part, on my team's part per item has not changed.
no.
But now there's a lot more items. And I feel like businesses are like, well, we still need all these items and we don't have new budgets because they're not making more money, maybe a little bit more, but it's not proportional. So
Mhm.
like the idea that we're doing, even the shoots that we do together, like they're not obscene amounts of SKUs in a single day,
No,
but
actually,
it's a lot of stuff. And like we've had things go sideways, you know, we've had shoots that just went to hell. It
oh my
happens.
god, did you almost lose the footage at
I
one
almost
point?
lost footage once the camera. So, by the way, I figured out what happened on that. And this is for anyone who's
What?
in this field who's listening. If you're handling SD cards in a very dry environment and you're
Mm.
taking them to a laptop that is plugged in and charging, put them down on the fucking counter first.
Ah.
Don't let static ruin a whole day's work. And that's what happened to us. Luckily, we were able to recover all that footage, minus one clip, which whatever, it's fine. But yeah, things go sideways when you're doing that many things in one day, right?
Mhm.
Part of me wishes I could mobilize models everywhere to be like, don't accept that many in a day. That way we can't. Because, right? Like, united we are strong, you know? Like, but
Yeah, united, but
they'll
it has to
just find
be, yeah.
someone else. They'll just find someone else.
Exactly. We're very easily replaceable. Like, I mean, not some, but There's there's always a prettier girl around the corner that's
Yeah,
probably willing to do it for cheaper. So
there's
it's,
always someone willing to do it
yeah,
for cheaper. I've learned that lesson. You can't fight for value.
no.
Like I used to be able to sell my work based on experience, which at the time was fake because I was lying. I had only been doing it for 2 years, but I looked older, so they bought it. Now I can't do that anymore, even though I have the experience, because there's some
Yeah.
21-year-old kid with a fucking iPhone who learned everything on YouTube, and he's fucking talented. He's good, and he has like I don't know. He doesn't need to work. I don't know. Maybe invested some money. Yeah, he's just doing it because he loves it. So,
Mhm.
or for the clout. He's probably doing it for the clout at this point.
The
Uh,
clout.
the clout, like street cred.
Okay.
I
Oh
thought you
wow.
were on the TikTok now. What happened? You don't know clout?
I gave up. Honestly.
Did you? I was so excited when I saw you join.
I
Like
did
I
the
was
one
like,
of the
yay,
dances.
more old
Yeah,
people on TikTok
yo,
with me.
more old people on TikTok. Thanks.
I said
No,
with
but
me.
oh, fine with you. But doing those dances, you have. I looked at 2 tutorials just to do that one dance, and
I
it
can't do the
was
dances.
like there are
Uh,
professional dancers doing these dances, and it's
some of them are
absolutely
terrible,
amazing. No, some of them are really good. Like their
but some of them
timing
are
is on.
terrible.
Oh, yes, absolutely. But
I
with
don't
their style.
understand when it comes to TikTok. The users who are really famous, like what's her name? That girl. Ah, man. Anyone who's like who knows TikTok well, they're gonna know. She's just some girl from the States. She's like the biggest TikToker. She dances with her mom sometimes. I really can't remember her name right now. She's part of that little creator club where they all live in the same house, the TikTok influencers.
They all live in one
Yeah, they
house.
like rented some big house by a beach and they create content together.
Hmm,
They're
okay.
all killing it. But
Wow.
there's nothing inherently very interesting or different about her. She's not even doing like really intense lip syncing. She's just dancing.
Mhm.
And she's very pretty, but she's not like so pretty they're like, wow, this makes sense.
Mhm.
You're just like, okay, what?
But
I
your
just
opinions on media, do you think TikTok is going to be around for a while? Or is it going to be kind of like a Vine
I think
or,
well,
well, it
that's
was
a
musically before, but it
that's
was,
like a double-edged question because
yeah.
Vine, Snapchat. What was the other one after Vine? There was
I
one that
thought it
was
was
really
TikTok.
short-lived. No, there was one more in between.
Oh, it started with a P, didn't it?
There was something either right before Vine or right after Vine. I don't remember what it was. It was the same concept as Vine,
Yeah.
and then Snapchat came around, and then Insta Stories showed up. All of this stuff is Vine.
Hmm.
It's all the same thing in a different wrapper, right? I'm
Yeah.
not saying that they're the same company. They're not.
No,
I think short form video is not going anywhere.
no.
I think it's here to stay, and I think it's a detriment to society. Like it really is. Short form
Mhm.
video is the ultimate embodiment of how lazy we've become.
Mm.
It's true. Like I spend sometimes I'll be sitting and my wife will come out on the balcony and be like, "What the fuck happened to you?" I was like, I was in the
Just
TikTok. Like
scrolling?
I don't even know what I'm
Wow.
watching
Where did
anymore.
I end up?
Like how did I get here? And now especially with social change happening, it's bleeding into TikTok
Hmm.
and there's some really dark humor on TikTok which I do enjoy. Like I'm not going to lie,
Who
I think
doesn't?
it's just that I feel like we lost our sense of humor maybe 10 years ago. Like as a
Mm.
society, everything became very touchy. And I'm okay with respecting people. I'm not saying fuck everyone. I'm just
No, of
saying
course.
there's a place in mutual respect where dark humor has a home because it's like
It's
an
like
introspective.
family gatherings
Well,
only.
family gatherings, sure, yeah. No, I don't mean the
Yeah.
racist things that families say to each other.
Mm.
I'm just talking about like dark humor. But it's like there's a place for it, and TikTok maybe isn't that place, but for some
Mhm.
reason
It's
it's there. And somehow this generation of content creators, they're the same ones out there yelling, don't misgender me.
mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of other things
Me
besides don't mis
too.
me too, Black Lives Matter, don't misgender me,
Hmm.
don't use the R word, don't use the N word, don't use the Q word, don't use the P word. I'm just saying there's all these
Okay,
words that
I'm
are
like,
trigger
what's the
words for
R
them.
word?
Oh, I can't say it. I'm not allowed.
Rainbow?
No.
Mm.
It's a word that our generation used to just mean something stupid. I literally won't say it.
Retarded.
Well, I'm going to cut you out saying it because we'll get in trouble.
That's what it is?
It's a big thing now.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I'm not saying I agree with it. You know what? I might leave this on because you had no idea.
I had no.
I absolve you of sin. You had no idea.
No, but
Yeah.
legit, really.
Yes, it's a thing. Because people who have what is the proper term? Like who are on the spectrum, who have some kind of mental, not disability, because that's not the right term anymore. I don't even know what to
Oh,
fucking say anymore. Anyone who falls into these categories of
yeah.
syndromes or conditions, it offends them because it became synonymous with stupid, right?
I I wouldn't even
And
think
I
of to
can,
think of a
I,
word to like that. Just
yeah, exactly. And I can see how they could be offended. Fine, I can get that, right? But
wow.
like I read something this morning that another model actually posted
Hmm.
that I've worked with. She was posting about the Black Lives Matter that thing.
Black Lives
Yeah,
Matter movement.
the social change that's happening.
Yes.
And one of the posts said you shouldn't say racist things, and it said like obviously next to it, right? And
Hmm.
then under it was like, these are the things you can do to not just not be a racist, but to be anti-racist. I'm like, all right, white guy here, let's find out. Let's see
Let's
what's
find
going
out.
on, you know?
Yeah.
Don't say racist things. Well, that seems easy. You know, that's a good one.
Mm.
No matter what you say, don't ever correct someone if they say that's racist. And I was like, what does that mean? Like I've had this discussion with a few people now,
Yeah.
and the post basically said it's not the context or the intent, it's the
Okay.
reaction.
Oh,
So they're
okay.
effectively saying it doesn't matter why you said something. If it offends someone, it's bad. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That is the stupid intent and context are the only things that matter in language because
Oh,
I actually can't control how you feel about something. It's also none of my fucking business,
mm-mm.
right? If
No,
you're
okay.
just sensitive about pandas being black and white and you think someone should go out there and bleach them, I'm just saying. Like if I
What?
don't
Just
know,
white?
if I don't know, yeah, we're gonna whitewash the pandas. Hashtag whitewash the pandas. Um,
Rude. Rude.
like that is crazy. Like
Mhm.
if I know that you love pandas and I'm trying to hurt you, my intent is different. But if I
Yeah.
don't know, it's not offensive.
No,
You just tell me,
no.
hey, I love pandas, and I'll only take him black and white. I won't take him whitewashed. I don't want no white pandas. Those are polar bears, man. They're people eaters. But you understand what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah. No, I do. I do. I understand.
And on the topic of whitewashing and color, uh,
Love the transition.
I love that I don't know that I love is not the right word. I think it's
Yeah.
interestingly hilarious that every time I've worked with you, every single time, you're always paired with a blonde girl. Always. Has this been your career?
Wait. Yes.
It
I do.
surprises me that you're so surprised because you're the one who told me this.
It is. I
Yeah.
did tell you.
Yes, you
Yes,
did. Yeah.
I did.
It
I
was
was
a
that
long day.
person.
It was a long day. But
No,
yeah,
but I could have sworn one of them was like more châtain, like more brown. But that's not true.
Châtain.
Châtain?
She was a little châtain, like a strawberry blonde. You mean
No, like a
a
brunettish.
brunette?
Yeah, negative though.
Maybe once, but the rest were all like fine specimens of the Aryan race. You know, like blonde, blue eyes.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
curious, do you feel like you get work because people don't know your ethnic background just by
Oh,
looking at you?
absolutely. Yep. Because
Yeah,
I mean, if they don't know, like, I mean, I am most of the ethnicities. I'm a
I am
big
most of them.
most of the ethnicity.
I am
Not South
humanity.
America. Yes. I
But you
am the
could
new
look South
race.
American, I
I
guess.
could. I've been hired to
Wait, back up. What'd you
wait,
just say?
not South America.
No,
Wait,
I am the
what
new
part?
race. Is that
I
what you
am
said?
the evolved race. If everyone starts getting together and harmony and everything, they just make a couple of me's.
You're what all those rednecks in the South are worried about. Is that what you're saying? We all
Yeah.
gonna look the same.
It's not that bad. We're pretty decent people.
What is your background, by the way?
Okay, so I did ancestry DNA, and so like that thing you spit in a tube. Okay, I get it. Like everyone thinks they're like it's like bogus, and they give you
It's
back.
not actually fully bogus, but it's mostly bogus.
It's
Go ahead, tell me
decent.
about it.
Okay,
I'll
fine,
tell you
fair
why it's
enough.
mostly bogus after.
Fine, go ahead. Okay, but so I figured my parents are Trinidadian.
And
Trinidadian.
Tobagian? And
I
toboggan
don't
or
know. I
not
was gonna
toboggan?
say no. Well, nobody's really tobogganing.
I don't think that's not the term, is
That's
it?
not even the term. I don't
Is
even know
anyone
how to
from
explain it.
Tobago?
Well, because it's kind of like a resorty island. Like everyone just goes there to work or have like a resort.
Oh, there's
Like
no
my uncle
locals
has
there
one.
anymore? I didn't know.
I
I have no
don't
idea.
know. I cannot.
All
I'm
right, so
not
your parents are
confirming
Trini.
anything.
You're from the.
Yes.
Is Trinidad considered part of the West Indies?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
It's like the last one close to Venezuela.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So you're from the Southern Hemisphere in your backgrounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
All right.
and in Trinidad, they're kind of split up 3 ways. So there's Trini Indian, Trini Black, and Trini Chinese. So
Indian,
I'm
like
more
from India or indigenous?
Indian, like from India.
Okay.
Yeah. So East India. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to make a joke. I was actually asking.
Okay, I was like, wait.
Okay, what is he saying?
Never know.
Well, they called everyone Indians, right? When they came, that's
Yes,
why I'm asking.
it's
Yeah.
true. So the East Indians, and so
Okay.
I predominantly I like all of India, from
Okay.
north to south. I got all of them. I got a couple percentage in Africa, Congo, Ghana, and then 8% Chinese, which I am super proud of for my like kind of obsession. Just makes
Okay.
sense.
So, oh, I see. It brought you closer to your spirit animal.
It did. I was
Okay.
like,
Okay.
now I kind of get it. Like
8% Chinese. That's pretty high. That's a pretty high rate.
I know. Like I have European too, but they're like maybe 4% or 3%. Like
Few
something
conquistadors
German.
passed through the village. Yeah.
At
Mm-mm.
least.
Mm-mm. But
think
yeah,
French
that makes sense though. In my mind, someone from the West Indies, that's the kind of genetic makeup that
I mean,
you
if
would
you
see.
think about it, like Pirates of the Caribbean, like everyone came down there to do some sort of trading or
And
this and
booty
that and the
getting.
other. Yeah, and you bang some broads and then you make civilization.
You make civilization.
Civilization. And
That
then I
was
pop out
so.
later on.
That was
Is
so
that
like
really bad?
counterculture to the movement. Like basically, like white people came and they civilized us.
No, I didn't
I know you didn't. But see, dark humor is appropriate
See,
sometimes.
I don't even know how to act in these days. Like it's really
Neither do I. And
I
you have a pass. People don't know what background you are. I'm very white.
You
I
are
have no
very white.
pass. I got to
But
be very careful.
like, but you're Greek, so that's like
To most people, that is not a thing. Like I always joke when we ever talk, when I do, because I do this just thing with my friend who's a stand-up comic, which I don't know if you've ever seen. It's like a news show where we rib on the news. It's the only real fake news on the internet because we're not actually a news show. It's a comedy. It's like we sit at a desk and we go over stories, wacky, crazy, goofy stories.
Fun. Okay.
But sometimes we talk about stuff that's more serious because it's important.
Mm-hmm.
We still make fun of it, but it's important. And anytime we talk about anything race related, I'm always like, well, we're just two white guys. And he gets mad. He goes, "Speak for yourself. I'm Greek." Like I am also Greek.
Yes.
He is also Greek. He is way whiter than me in complexion.
Yeah.
And even the part of Greece that he comes from, if there was other people having sex with those ancestors, they were definitely whiter than the brown people that came over to fuck with my ancestors. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's how Greece is. It depends where you're, because such a small country.
Yeah.
With so many borders, depending on which side your ancestors were on, that more or less decides who they were having weird sex with.
Nice.
Like if you're closer to Africa, on like the south side of Crete, maybe some Arab guys came by, maybe some sexy Arab ladies. You know what I mean? But if you're in the north, you were riding the train all the way to Bulgaria. You're having the time of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really, it's just geography, right? What do you have access to? That's exactly what it is.
Listen,
yeah, it's
what
still
do you
the same
think Trinidad is like? Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that, and he's not wrong because, and I spoke about this with Neldy last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like, I say stuff to my wife like, we'll see something ridiculous. I'm like, huh, white people. Like, I don't even consider myself part of that group. But what Neldy said to me was, but I can go unnoticed. And he's right. In that sense, I'm very white. I'm Caucasian. I definitely have some probably North African background for sure.
Like spit in a tube.
So I have two issues with spitting in the tube, okay? There's two issues. One, I don't want a private company to own my DNA. Mostly because I don't know what the next 20 years are going to look like, right? that's because I don't know. We went from fingerprints to retinal scanning to Face ID. DNA is not that far away. And if all of a sudden my DNA becomes the way that I can access my bank account, I don't want it on file somewhere in case they get hacked,
Okay.
right? Like, I'm not saying Big Brother wants my DNA. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to be practical, right?
Okay.
But I still want to know. So part of me is like, I should just get my sister to do it. Because there's no
Yeah.
one in the world who's going to have a closer DNA match to me than my sister, aside from the fact that we're different sex. But as far as my understanding of DNA goes,
Yeah.
genetics, she's
Mhm.
probably closer to me than my own kids.
Okay.
But like, I'm like, okay, I'll get my sister to do it and then I'll know, you know? But that just seems mean because then I'm screwing over my sister. So
Yeah.
that's my first issue with the DNA thing. The second one is the science is wonky. They're not
Mhm.
actually tracing, they make it sound like they're tracing strands of the human genome throughout history. No, what they're doing is they're not using like fossil records and shit with DNA. They're taking samples, random size samples from different parts of the world, and they're
Mhm.
saying this appears here, this appears here, this appears here, this appears here. Then they do yours and they're like, okay, so you must be 8% here, 2% there. It doesn't speak at all to where things were 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago. It's imprecise, but it's still quasi accurate, right?
So
Like,
then I could have some South Americans that I don't know.
yes, you should dance cumbia. What is it? Cumbia. You should do it.
Salsa?
Well,
Wait.
look, you're from the southern hemisphere, so you're okay. You can do a
Okay.
little salsa and stuff. I think
Mm,
it's fine. No one's gonna learn. Do you speak
not very
Spanish?
good. Ooh.
You should learn some
Gracias.
Spanish. No, no, okay.
Gracias and
The
what's it
way you
called?
said that just
US
now,
El Baños.
wow. All I want to say, and I'm fighting the urge, is white people. Like, that's, you know what I mean? That, to me, that's white people. Muchos gracias, bro.
Muchos gracias. Oh, you
Like,
should hear my French. Ooh.
is it terrible?
Oh, it's horrible. Like
And you're
it's
still a
not.
successful model.
I know.
It's pretty
Again, the
impressive.
acting and they just need the face and
Look,
different angles.
is your French like super like Anglophone French? Is it
No,
that kind of
no,
French?
no.
It's like
I do
ethnic French.
have, yeah, I think I've developed a bit of an accent. Like it's,
I don't know. My French sounds really, really like I don't sound like I'm like, you know, that Westmount French.
yes.
Like, je vais aller parler avec votre manager. Vous allez jamais travailler ici encore. Like that French, I don't have that. Like,
No.
I remember when I used to work, when I was in film school, I used to work for the
Yeah.
CLSC, like for the healthcare system, the government
Mhm.
clinics. And people would talk to me and they're like, in French, right? They're like, do you like it here? I'm like, yeah, it's all right. Pays okay. They're like, how long have you been here? I'm like, oh, I've been working here like 3 years. They're like, oh no, when did you get to Quebec? I'm like, excuse me? Because for some reason I speak English with a very Montreal kind of accent,
Yeah.
like very typical. But my French sounds like I just got off a boat from Greece. Like, it's my second day
Really?
here, and for some reason, my Greek accent seeps into my French, and
Wow.
it just, like, I always joke that I don't speak French, I just speak Greek in French.
Okay.
Because the
That
structures of the
transition.
languages are
Yeah.
much more similar than English.
Okay.
So, like, there's, masculine, feminine, and neuter. Uh, did I just say feminine? I
Heard
think I may have said
neuter.
feminine.
Did you mean
Like
neuter?
neutral. Like,
Okay. Got it.
like English doesn't even have a term for that, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? But all that to say, coming back to the fact that you may be 8% Chinese, and if that makes you feel closer to your panda heritage,
Yes.
by all
Then.
means. But the reason I asked you about it is I feel, and this is going to sound so inappropriate, I feel like you're every marketing team's dream model. Because every
Why?
time I have a meeting and there's too many, white people in the meeting, somebody always goes, we're going to have to recast. And everyone's like, why, what's wrong? They're like, we got to get some diversity in here. And the fact that people say it with such a like, is so,
That's bad.
even I'm
Yeah,
offended
that needs to
sometimes, right?
change. Honestly, it's really
Like,
the disgust is
it's not,
that's the
it's,
problem.
it's not disgust, it's disdain to the fact that they got to do more work. Like, I think affirmative action, like
Yeah.
for example, is a strange concept that I don't fully understand.
Mhm.
Like, even now, people are like, if you want to help, hire black people. Well, okay,
Oh
hire.
yeah.
What people should be shouting is, if you want to help, don't not hire black people.
Well, that's
Not
the
go out of your
thing.
way, because that's in itself a form of
Mhm.
racism. Like,
Mhm.
hire someone based
That
on
I
their
agree with.
merit, right?
Yes. The
But
work that they put into, the quality of it.
representation, exactly. Like
Mhm.
people are calling for, we're going to diversify our workplace. All I just heard was, I've been hiring only white people and now I'm
Mhm.
scared. That's what I hear. So it's like, again, for a white person, maybe I don't understand the context
No,
of it,
I
but
think
I
it's
just think
pretty clear.
like it seems stupid. But
Mhm.
you must be a godsend to these small-minded people because they're like, okay, we don't need to get the black chick, the Indian chick, the Chinese. We got Michelle. Nobody knows what the fuck she is, and even the old French Canadian ladies might just think she's dark. Maybe she's tanned. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because ladies like to tan. Like it's not
They
even
love the bronzage. Yeah, they
it,
do
yo, like it's a
tanning salons.
religion.
Well, you live north of the island of Montreal, so where you're at, it's like a hardcore religion.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like
like
there's tanning booths in most Econo Fitnesses.
you
There's a
don't go
tanning
into
booth.
tanning booths. Do you go into your
No,
model? You don't, right?
no.
Thank
I
God.
try to stay out of the sun as much as possible for the cancer aspect.
Oh, okay. I just
Yeah.
meant for like
And
aesthetics.
aging of the skin. It's not good to sit in the sun too long.
I don't know that I've ever avoided the sun. Like I'm trying to think
Really?
if I've ever actively avoided the sun.
No. Well, as a lady, like just for
Yeah.
wrinkles and just spots of any kind. Well, and because I get like acne spots when I'm
Yeah, I
an
get it
idiot and
too
I
when
play
I'm
with
in the
them.
sun. Yeah.
But as for your complexion, like you have a more olive skin too. It is the worst. You have
Me?
those spots for a long time. Yeah, ish.
I guess,
Maybe it's
yeah.
just your beard.
I actually my beard's all ginger. It's that one
Fair
Scottish
enough.
guy who visited. Uh
See, okay, can we not make those jokes anymore? That's what I don't
I
understand.
can
Like,
say whatever the fuck I
but
want.
see, like,
I am the privileged class. I can say whatever I
oh,
want.
privileged class, lovely.
Lovely. No, I think we can still make those jokes. It's my ancestors. If I want to pretend like a Scottish guy fucked them, it's
Hmm.
my prerogative. They're dead. They can't defend themselves. Whatever. But
No, it's just like how you're supposed to act now. Like I'm educating, I'm listening to everything everyone's writing.
yeah,
I mean, I am a minority, but I'm still, is there something I can do? No offense, I don't want to participate like too much because I don't know like whose opinion I'm pissing
yeah,
off and who's like
yeah. It's
I am.
weird, right?
It is weird. Like I absolutely am for the cause. I think it's horrible what everything happened, but at the same time, I don't know where to go with it. Like,
It's a weird, yeah. It's a weird situation.
mhm,
Even though, like, at its core, it's a simple situation. Nobody
mhm.
should get singled out because they look different and
No.
murdered, right? Like,
Well,
yeah,
that's the thing. I just think people are not educated as much as they should be on the topic. Like, especially companies, they're just getting directions from higher ups or from what the media is
I've
circulating in the
heard
tornado.
calls,
So,
and also don't forget that the media cycle, the way it's running now, like it's become like a social justice cycle, right? Like the indignation runs so deep, like internationally, and companies are doing stuff just because they're scared that if they don't, like I've heard of companies offering to, pay bail of employees. Which is admirable,
yeah.
I guess, maybe, but these are the same companies that like just fired a shit ton of people because of
Hmm.
COVID. So I don't know. uh I appreciate you actually saying that, honestly, like
No,
saying I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
It's
I
weird.
mean, it is weird because I have models that are protesting and I'm so for it. I applaud them and I am with them 100%. It's just, again, what can we do more than donate or put
How does
up
donating
something?
help? I never understood
I
that.
don't
Like,
know. I
I
mean,
feel
what
like every time.
organization is profiting from, well, not profiting, but like where's
Yes,
the money
yes.
going into to help the cause?
I don't see how more money is going to help people be less closed-minded. Like, money doesn't solve
Well, that's
everything.
the thing. I think it's the education that is the more, teach people about it. Just keep learning, keep learning, keep learning. That's
Just be
the best
cool.
thing.
Just be cool. I think
Black,
that should be the slogan of
be
Black.
cool.
Be cool.
Just be cool.
Be
And love
cool.
always wins. Just love everybody. If you're, everyone's an
What did you
asshole at
call?
one point.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't care
Like
what your
everyone was a
color is.
teenager and did fucking inappropriate things that were, thank God the internet wasn't what it is today when we were teenagers. Like, thank God. And some stuff is probably on there. Like
Yeah.
just embarrassing things, and I don't mean like nobody lynch mobbed anybody. I'm just saying. Like it wasn't not that kind of stuff, not crimes.
Okay.
I just mean embarrassment
Yes.
during teenage years.
Hmm.
But so now that I've talked about Corona again, like I'm just gonna go back to it because hey,
Corona. Yeah.
there's only two things that are happening in the world right now.
Well,
There's the
that's the
Black
only
Lives
thing.
Matters protest and coronavirus, which
Hmm.
is now we've defeated. This is breaking news, by the way. I'm gonna break it on Phil My Hole. Coronavirus is defeated because it's racist. It's terrified of protesting black people. It's like fuck this. I'm going back to China because all of a sudden nobody cares about Corona anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
crazy.
I mean, apparently, if you wear your mask and you're still next to a person, you're safe from, I don't know, this is one idea of it. I know.
Who I'm not judging. That's not the I don't think so face. That's the I don't know. I don't even know anymore.
I'm getting so many different views, so many different opinions,
I
so many
read an
like, you should
article.
do this, you should not do this, you should do this. So I'm
Mhm.
like, what allegiance do I pledge to? Because I don't know.
I
I'm
read an
just
article
alone
that
and that's
said
it.
that bald men are way more likely because of the amount of androgen in our system to die from COVID, not to catch it, but to die from it. Yep, who knows? But it's again it's a leaked article from an unpublished medical journal. I
Mhm.
read that smokers somehow have this weird. Uh, they're no, this one's good. If you're a smoker,
Oh.
apparently, there seems to be data that indicates they're not sure. It's harder for you to catch the virus, which makes no sense if it's an upper
But
vascular.
isn't it like,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Now they're saying it's a cardiovascular disease, possibly. Again, smokers should be the worst of off. Data says otherwise. Then those articles disappear because they're
mm,
clickbait, probably. I've read that people who have asthma and seasonal allergies
yeah.
are at a better have a better chance of not contracting the virus because the cells that the virus attaches to are there's fewer of them because of years of irritation and inflammation. Like
Is
who
this a
know?
new study?
Who
Because I
knows?
thought it
This
was.
was like 3 weeks ago. This was like three
Oh,
weeks ago.
come on.
They're
Oh.
fishing. They're fishing right now. They're just trying to get as much information as they can, and the media is just running with it, right? And
Mhm.
now everything's shifted to the protests, obviously, and that's what everyone's talking about. But the truth is, it's probably not gone.
Yeah.
It's still around, and we got to get back to work. So
I'd
like
love to.
what is work going to be like? Like I can think just on the last time I worked with you, I can
Mhm.
think of 1,000 instances where someone was within 6 inches of you, either
Yeah.
adjusting your clothing, moving your hair, doing your makeup.
Well, makeup and hair alone
Just
is
makeup and hair
yeah.
alone is a whole other thing. And makeup artists tend to be very they're like I guess it's because it's their job to like have hands on people all the time. They're
Mhm.
very like they hug and they're not the type of people to keep a distance from you, right?
Yeah.
So like what the hell's gonna happen? Like I can sit in a glass box and yell action through a megaphone for the most part. I can hide.
You can do that.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to, that's ridiculous,
Mhm.
but what are you gonna like? Are you working
Well,
again? Like what's
I
happening
mean,
now?
I've spoken to a lot of makeup artists. They're all talking amongst each other, especially in the cinema world. And they're just learning as much as they can about like the products that they have, how to clean them and how to properly disinfect them and
Yeah.
how to apply them to their actors or models in a safe and efficient way. Just do we have to buy like one kit for one?
Disposables.
Yeah, like because especially like actors on like a TV series or something, it's that same actor
Yeah.
for a certain amount of time, right? You just have one kit for that one
Sounds
actor.
expensive.
But that's where they're going back and forth. Is it the makeup artist's expense or is it the client's expense? So those are things
Mm.
they just kind of have to weave out is who's paying for these extra procedures that need to be in place.
So you're officially allowed back on set as of June 8th, right? Technically,
June
modeling.
15th, I believe.
I
Was
read that cinema production
well, see,
starts
that's
on the 8th. I read it on the Quebec website this morning.
okay. See,
I just don't know if model shoots fall because like I've been allowed to do certain kinds of shoots, right?
yeah.
I spoke with Ali about this too. He's
Mm-hmm.
also been allowed, but most of those did not involve a human subject.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
Oh, okay. Oh,
an
like
olive
product
oil,
stuff.
like a
Okay, yeah.
product or kind of lifestyle background shots.
Mm-hmm.
But as like none of us would have started a shoot with like two models on set right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just seems crazy. But officially, we can all get back to work. I'm
Well,
terrified to get back to work because I
you
just don't have
are.
enough information.
Yeah.
Like I've been, isolated, and I had my first drink of something that was not prepared in my home for the first time yesterday. I
What
haven't
was
even,
it?
it was coffee. I got coffee out. I haven't done that in 87. I've lost
80
track of the days. I count my quarantine from the day the daycare is closed,
Okay.
which was
Yes.
the day
That
after our shoot.
was
I think, if I'm
wow.
not mistaken, it was 87 days ago.
Holy.
We have a calendar. It's like a prison jail cell thing at home, because being quarantined with a 4-year-old
Yeah. You're
is
scared. Of
is
course.
is is crazy. No, I just mean she's been going nuts. Like my daughter I've seen her go through the gamut of like
Yeah.
weird emotions over the last.
Well, wasn't
It's
there that time you told me that she just wanted her alone time? She's like,
yeah,
we're hanging out way too much together.
she told me, she's like, I'm just gonna sit by myself for a bit. I was like, that's weird. That's okay. I catch her staring out the window like longingly, like I miss. She said to me the other day, I miss the old days before the germ. I'm like, me too, kid, me too. Like she
Oh,
misses other kids. She's sad.
of
So like
course.
to
But
do
with your
all of
family
this,
and stuff, you guys don't kind of even
we
see each
just
other.
started seeing our families like regularly in a more normal sense
Okay.
yesterday, because
Wow.
my parents live with my grandparents and
Ah,
they're
okay.
90. So
Yeah.
I've been very careful around them. And on my wife's side, there's a lot of cousins. Like
Mm,
she has siblings, my wife has
yeah.
siblings, so they have kids.
Okay.
Kids cannot social distance.
No.
My
Oh no.
daughter, one of the best I've ever seen. Actually, hey, you're a little too close. But
Yeah.
after about 10 minutes of not having seen people for 80 days, shit's out the window.
Of course.
They're
Like
all over each other. They
just
just
not
can't.
touching your friends. No,
They
I'm
can't.
playing and
The weirdest feeling for me is when I see my mom, not now, but like in the early days, especially because her office is near my home. So we'd
mhm.
like go for a walk around the block and we'd stop to say hi to her. My
Yeah.
mother would walk towards me and I'd be like, oh, that's my mother.
I know.
Like,
Oh,
you
trust me,
can't,
Mother's Day was weird.
it's so
Yeah.
bizarre. It's so bizarre. Like, it's weird. So now to go back on set and
Mhm.
just pretend like everything's the same kind of defeats the purpose of psychologically tormenting my child for 90 days because I'm just going to bring it home anyways. You know what I mean? Maybe I've
Listen.
had it. I don't know. You know what I mean?
See, we don't know if we have it or we don't. That's another thing.
That's the
Like
weird
it's
part. I just kicked the camera. That's 3
it's all
shows in
right.
a row I kicked the camera. I got to get a
You
different
just have
setup
a
here.
blooper every time you kick the camera.
Brr.
Bah, bah,
That's
bah.
because I
I
have
could
it
do it.
right
I
in
have the
front of
app
me.
for that. You have what?
It's what? You have an app for that? It's called editing. Right?
Well, I have an editing app then.
There you go. Welcome to the club. What else
Yo,
do you want
I'm
to
getting
tell
decent
people?
at this. Yo.
What else do you want to tell people about your editing skills?
My editing skills? I don't know. I'm on Slice. I don't know if you know that
I have
application.
no idea what that is.
What? Okay, it's fun. Like I've been doing my makeshift like cooking shows where I kind of like
Oh yeah, I've seen a
things in
few
a
of
bowl.
those.
Yeah, I complained to you because I was like, yo, I don't know what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
doing.
yeah.
I hate it.
Oh, I remember that. It took
Yes.
a pandemic to get me some respect. That's right. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
there you
Yeah.
go. Exactly. Like to have what you guys go through, I'm like, I bought a wide lens,
Wide angle lens.
wide angle lens. Sorry, wide angle
Yeah.
lens. I haven't even used that yet. It's just
For what? Your phone?
yeah, for my phone. Like that's why I wanted to ask you to get another camera. Which one would you suggest?
Do you
Like
want to actually do this? We could do this right now if you want.
just do this.
What do you want to
Yo.
shoot? So this is a question I get often. People come up to me,
Yes.
they're like, Phil,
Hmm.
what's the best camera? I was like, what? And I never know what to answer because it's such a loaded
Yeah.
question. So tell me, what do you
Well,
want to do with it?
Okay, for the home, like anything that I do at home, general outings with friends and
So
videos.
photography and video.
Photography, like but one where because like you know the fact that like I can do my selfie timer and I can see myself on it. I
Mhm.
like that
So
aspect
you
because
need a
like
flip forward screen.
yes,
So
exactly.
Sony's probably not great for you.
Stonies?
Sony cameras,
Stonies, okay.
like the ones we use on set,
Mhm.
because they don't flip over. I know
No.
that Sony just came out with something, and they're calling. I forget what it's called.
Mm.
I'll put a link in the description for anyone
Yes.
listening, and I'll send you a link after.
Mm.
They're calling it the ultimate camera for content creators, and I don't mean content
Okay.
creators like me. I mean content creators like you.
Yeah.
It's basically a fixed lens camera,
Mm-hmm.
so the lens doesn't come off, and the camera flips forward.
Okay.
And it has this fun little handle that attaches to it that acts
Ooh.
as a selfie timer, a
Okay.
record button, a start stop, and it's bugging me. So while I'm talking about it, I'm gonna Google it. It's all over YouTube right now
Yeah.
because Sony pushed hard.
Mm.
I don't know very much about it, but
Okay.
it seems like it's probably
The
the
best.
right camera for what you're doing.
Okay.
But at the same time, it really depends on what you want to, like, if you want to shoot high resolution video with audio,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to also need a microphone.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing cooking shows, you need a mic.
No, I don't want to talk on my cooking shows.
You don't want to talk? You just want to look this food, right? Look, I
Look at
make
this
this.
food.
I make
I
this,
make
you
this.
eat it.
This this is the product. Eat it.
I, for some reason, cannot find
That's okay.
this camera.
Find it after.
I'll find it after and
okay.
I'll send it to you. I know that like maybe 10 days ago,
Yeah.
every second video that was on YouTube was about this fucking camera.
Really?
Literally every like
But
all
maybe
of a
because
sudden.
you were talking about it and it's like the cookies were in it and
No.
it was like,
This was a targeted marketing move by Sony. Like they said, these are the people who are going to buy this. We're going to go hard and we're going to make sure everyone wants to use it. I can't find it now.
Is it reasonably priced? Because I've seen everything that's like 400,
I think it's
500.
that's cheap.
That's cheap? Really?
That's really cheap for a camera that does
that.
good video, like solid, even video, and also solid photos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The RX100s are interesting by Sony. They do flip screen forward. They're small, they're compact, they take great photos. The zoom on them is like crazy. You can zoom into like the moon. It's like crazy digital zoom, but you don't need that.
I don't need to take pictures.
Like that's not what, you're not going to zoom into your pores and be like, this is why I stay out of the sun.
Lord have mercy, no.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy.
I haven't heard that outside of a song in years.
Like an Elvis song? Wait.
No, Lord like a dance hall song or something. Or like
really?
I don't know, like reggae.
Barely talk in dance hall songs.
What?
They barely talk in dance hall songs.
No, they give you all kinds of pertinent information like
wiggle your body.
Signal the plane. Signal the plane. Won't you signal the plane? Row the boat. Row the boat. Fast wine. Slow wine. That's why, as a not very rhythmically inclined person, I love dancehall because it tells me what to do. I don't have to think. I don't got to worry about it in the next few. It's like
to the left.
Signal the plane. Signal the plane. I'm signaling the plane. I'm rowing the boat. I'm rowing the boat. Slow wine, fast. Like that's it. It's every wedding I've ever been to.
Those are lovely. I love those.
Oh, do you? Weddings or the dancing part of weddings?
Both. Oh, I
hate weddings.
What? You must have the best weddings too. Greek weddings? Come on.
That's racist.
How is that racist? They're fun. I love the race. I love Greece. That was actually my first trip as a model. I was in Greece, Athens for 6 months.
For 6 months?
6 months.
What were you doing for 6 months as a model?
Modeling.
Really? You're like a real model.
Yeah, man. That travel. I used to travel.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
6 months in Greece, eh?
A lot of bridal.
I've always wanted to ask this to people. Bridal? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all trying to get destination weddings. Yeah, it's a big business in Greece.
It was a lot of bridal, a lot of corsets, a lot of.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. But I've always wanted to ask people because there's very few non-Greeks I know who have spent a long amount of time in Greece. Mm-hmm. What's 6 months like in Athens for someone who's not Greek?
It was long. I mean, we made. I mean, it was fun because we kind of had like everyone from different countries. Like my roommate was from Denmark, lovely, lovely girl. Bunch of Brazilians, a bunch of Germans, a bunch of Russian girls, Russian guys, Brazilian guys, Canadians too, Americans. Like it was
Sounds
nice.
Like an episode of Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like international. What's that? There's a Quebecois version of that.
Is there?
Occupation Double or something.
No, that's just Quebecers. So.
Yeah, but they had gone to Greece last season. I remember seeing some posts
Did
about
they?
it. Yeah, they sent them to Greece to live in like a hut. I don't know.
Oh.
Something random. I don't know why I thought of that. Disregard that and continue.
I don't know, but it was fun. Like I wanted to throw a plate on the floor, but apparently that you guys don't do that no more.
We don't actually. No, we never did that.
Yes, you did. There are movies.
Okay, so I'm going to rip the face off of history for a second, okay? And you're going to stare right into the truth. That whole we break plates thing originates, as far as I know, from Zorba the Greek, the movie with Anthony Quinn. It was a way for Anthony Quinn, who came up with it, to show that like this lust for life, this
Mhm.
joie de vivre. And he started breaking plates, and it for some reason, Greek people were like, "Yo,
This
we
shit's
should do that
good.
too." You've been to a Greek wedding, you said, right? It's so much fun.
I haven't been to a Greek wedding.
Oh, you've never been?
Actually. No, I've been to an Italian one.
I'll invite you to my next
Austria.
wedding.
Please, I'm really good with the aunties. We're really
You
good at the
completely
dancing.
missed my joke, eh?
No, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, my
Was it
second
bad?
wedding.
I'm gonna tell her.
She knows. I introduced
I'm
her as
gonna
my
tell
first wife.
her.
She's technically my first wife.
Well, yeah, but like,
I never
there's
said there'd be a second one. I just saying she's my first wife. I've never
You
been
didn't
married
have
before.
to.
so
Rude.
so at Greek weddings, at some point they always get into a big circle and
Yes.
they dance sirtaki.
Da-da-da-da. Yeah.
The Zorba the
Yeah.
Greek. No, that was circus music I just did.
Oh.
The that thing, right? The Zorba music.
It sounded very EDM, but all right.
Did it? Yeah, well, it might be the distortion of the mic, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do. I do.
And they 1, 2, 3 kick, step, kick.
Yes.
One. That's
Mhm.
not a real Greek dance. Anthony Quinn made that dance.
So one guy made up a whole culture for you guys?
Well, okay. First of all, there's more to
What?
being Greek than just breaking plates and
I
dancing in
know.
a circle.
Well, I know that absolutely.
His dance is based on another kind, on a real existing dance,
Mhm.
but he added like 3 steps to the end, and that became the whole dance. And it
Mm.
became this like real, like, yes, there are Greek dances that look like Greece, mainland Greece has like 2,000 traditional dances. And
Mhm.
if you include the island, the number goes into the crazy thousands.
Mhm.
Every region is different. But
That'd be fun. Yeah.
yeah, some of them are very interesting and jumpy and fun, and some are like
Yeah.
war dances. They're very slow and somber.
Okay.
But that's not one of them.
Okay.
That
Fair
started
enough.
the breaking plates thing was adopted from the movie
Mhm.
by Greek Americans, who then added the money throwing aspect where they burn money again to show
Oh, I
this.
didn't know about that.
Yeah, they throw
Oh.
money, they burn money, and it kind of just developed into like Greece never did these things. This is a Greek American.
Although they do throw carnations. Every time
That's
we were
true.
yes,
That's
every
true.
time we were at a dinner, they brought us a bucket of carnations and you got to throw it at each other. That was super fun. I was like,
Why'd
so
you
this
throw it at
replaced
each
the
other?
plate. Because I didn't
No, the
have really
carnations
destiny.
pre-exist actually. The
Okay.
whole thing with the carnations in Greek, there's something called bouzoukia, which are these
Yes!
these epic nightclubs,
Yes,
right, with
I
live
went
music.
to one. It was so good.
They're-
Oh.
and the singers go out, and it's typically either a really sexy girl
Mhm.
or like a guy in a black suit with a white shirt,
Yeah.
very sweaty, and he comes there and he sings, and people get drunk, and people
Yeah.
pour booze on the floor, and they're smoking, and it's great. It's fucking fun.
And you throw flowers.
And you throw flowers. You buy for €100 this basket of
Mhm.
carnations, and you throw them up there, and then some asshole sweeps up the carnations, put them back in a basket, and they sell them to you again. It is the
Stop.
greatest racket in the history of the world.
Wow.
Amazing.
I didn't
Amazing.
know that.
When I was a teenager, I had told my dad, goes, "What are you gonna do with your life?" Out of nowhere. And I was like, "I want to be a Greek laiko singer. Like, I want to sing in the bouzoukia." He's like, "You can't sing or play music." I'm like, "Whatever." My dream was to just have people throw carnations at me. And at my wedding, someone threw a bunch of flowers at me, and Anna goes, "It's like your dream come true." I'm like, "What do you mean, the wedding?" She goes, "No, the carnations." I'm like, "I know."
But the wedding too.
The wedding too, but that was more specific. Yeah. And the fact that she would make that joke is why I married her.
That's why you married.
Yeah.
That honestly,
So I want to I'm going to wrap this up because I feel like it's been long and I don't want to take up your Saturday. And you're allowed to leave the house now, so that's nice.
Yes.
Where can people follow you to see your cooking show and your obsession with pandas?
Well, yeah, that's
and
it.
your
So
increasingly risky photo shoots that you're doing at home.
Well, that's what I'm trying to transition. Well, not transition, but add on that I'm a certified health coach, and so that's kind of going to be.
What does that mean?
So I graduated from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, which is a health coach course. It was a 1.5-year course. And I got my certification as a coach.
I had no idea about this, but go on.
I told you the last time. You thought it was not so impressive. Or
no, you told me you wanted to start coaching young models.
Well, that too.
Like a madame.
No! You don't even listen when I say. I say model and you're like, mistress.
All you told me was I want to help young girls who are just starting out find their way. If that's not a madame job description, I don't know what is.
Young models who want to model.
I never said
Figure
they
it
didn't.
out.
I never said they didn't. I just see you like in your 60s with like a boa scarf and one of those long cigarettes going, these are my girls. I love them. Like,
I don't hate that.
there you go. Okay, but go back to your, yes,
No, but
so you're
yeah, I
a
mean,
fitness coach, not a fitness
health,
coach, health coach.
health
Sorry.
coach.
Yes.
Yes.
And do you offer these services?
I do. I haven't finished my website, which is a very long process because this is new to me, this whole building a new company, because I have been a model for so long. So
Right.
bear with me that it is taking a
So
little
what
bit
kind of
time.
services are we talking about? Like, what are you offering people?
Well, coaching, I'm going to put together a couple videos, like YouTube stuff, start to do that YouTube following, just like you're doing. I'm so proud of you for doing this. Honestly,
I've been doing this for years.
I didn't know.
The podcast
yeah.
is new. The podcast is new.
The podcast is new. Okay.
Yeah.
But even doing that, putting yourself out there and just actually talking and having people listen.
Weird.
It's honestly not a lot of people can do it. So I commend you for even starting it.
Thank you. And thank you for actually agreeing to do it. I like to talk. You've been on set with me. I don't shut up. So this for me makes sense, to have conversations with people, long form conversations. And the thing that kind of sparked it all was the fact that I was stuck at home and I haven't really seen anyone besides my immediate family. So like, I was like, I want to talk to people again.
Yeah, but this is nice. Like you could be
fun.
in your home, everyone can be in. Zoom calls.
This is why I strayed away from this format before, because I was scared that people would be like, oh, I got to come to your studio. I was only able to interview the people that are in my immediate vicinity. 2 cameras, recording, editing. It's recording right now. I hope I pressed record. Did I press record? I did.
That's the intro, I swear.
So where can people find you on social media, Michelle?
Well, I am the dorkiest sidekick.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Who are you a sidekick to?
So dorkiest sidekick started when I was modeling in LA, actually. And my roommate at the time, Sonia, I was just always her sidekick to wherever she wanted to go. Like my Hollywood celebrities were always kind of after her and stuff. And she was like, oh, I don't want to go unless my sidekick comes with me. And then when Instagram kind of started at that point, she was like, well, you're just like my dorky sidekick. And I was like, I am. And then I just made it, and it forever has just stayed that way. And
I like it.
it kind of encompasses me as a whole.
I feel like it actually does to some extent. Yeah, I like that.
I'm a dorky.
I can
like
see
to
that.
Be a partner in crime, the Watson to your Sherlock.
You can find Michelle at Dorkiest Sidekick on Instagram, and I guess on other social medias. You can find her from there. She's maybe on TikTok, but probably not TikToking anymore. My name is Phil Balbanos. This was a fun episode, and let me know in the comments, whoever's watching the video version of this, not just the audio. I actually tried a different format this week, just so you guys can see the guest a little better. Oh, she didn't know that, apparently. And let me know if you guys prefer it. I'm curious. My name is Phil Balabanos. Thank you for coming on to Fill My Hole. Yes, that's the title of the show. It's a spin-off title. I can't get rid of it. I'm stuck with it forever. You can listen, you can watch YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. It's all at P. Balabanos. And I'll see you guys next week when we have a new guest that isn't Michelle. You've been listening to Fill My Hole. This podcast is available on YouTube in its full video form. If you're lazy and you don't want to Google it and you don't want to search on YouTube, balabanos.com, hit the podcast section. You can subscribe directly to the RSS feed there. My name is Phil Balabanos, and I'll see you next time.